the doctor has determined that the buildings that they're seeing that are organic are grown from a single organism that may be the city. We began looking at what else is here, and Lieutenant TuPari has decided to start scanning for a signal and or energy signatures and stuff, and try to find some of the local technology that may be producing this signal that's going out into the galaxy, or or other technology that may be present. So, what? Go ahead and make me a science and a you tell me insight or reason, hunch, or are you trying to follow out a logical plan? And if you're logical, and if you have a logical plan, what are you specifically looking for?
Yeah, I'll go for reason, and that because I'm aware of what other civilizations use as their like. I'm looking for the most likely candidate for a communications sort of setup.
Perfect. All right. So because you have Xeno technology as focus, click reason, science, and then yes on focus. You're going to roll 2 dice. So click 2 on the task roll, and then hit the boomerang. And you got 2 successes, which is exactly what you start scanning the area. Find 2 interesting things in the immediate area. One is that you absolutely find the transmitter. That's not terribly hard to find. And you find that there is an extremely large energy reading that appears to be connected to something that, with those 2 successes, that you would guess is something that is probably a computer or a data bank that is within walking distance of where you are.
Commander, I have located the source of the communication signal.
Incredible. Is it far?
No, Commander, it is within walking. Our pilot did an excellent job of landing us close.
Excellent work, TuPari. Let's get going. Let's go look.
Ensign Petrel goes, scratches through hates Vulcans off his character sheet now. All right. So you guys begin to walk in the direction where the signal, your tricorder to direct you in that where it's at. And you walk into the shadow of one of these massive organic structures. As the shadow falls across you, the temperature drops 3-4 degrees centigrade, and it's suddenly much colder, and you get a little bit of a shiver, and that is when you all see at the base of one of the buildings something. I won't say equally upsetting, but yeah, so kind of upsetting. Inside the structure, you find a much larger, a very large organic looking building that has as you approach it, this is where the signal is coming from. An object that is mounted on the front of this structure. And that is where your signal is coming from. For those of you, because people can't see it, they're watching online, it is another oddly organic structure. The first one is sort of like roots going up to a giant flower, whereas but it's also mechanical in nature, and the object in front of them looks like sort of an opening flower made out of strange metal and other materials with a sort of a big dark pearl shaped object in the center of it. So,
Geiger looks like he might have been an influence for this artwork.
yeah, a little bit, yeah, yeah. Ever since I was 12 years old and discovered the movie Alien, I was like, yes, I'll be using this forever to horrify people. All right, so this is your moment, Zav. Sorry. You have, this appears to be the device that is sending the signal out, and is producing whatever this series of codes and languages are that's coming out. Because we're all a little unclear right now whether it's saying words or it is just sending out code.
It looks like it might have some kind of button or something on it. And I'm going to pretend like it's a Simon Says game with the 4 buttons and just see if I get any different response by touching a button on the
All right.
transmitter.
Okay. Well, in that case, go ahead and make me and since you're going with your gut, we'll just say that you use insight and engineering because you are trying to fiddle with a device. You have a focus in cryptography, and since we're trying to decode something, I'll say that you focus. So if you click on yep, and then click on yes up on focus used, which you've got. Your task roll for this, you're rolling 2 dice, and your difficulty number is A2 to get some sort of response out of it. So go ahead and hit the little boomerang next to task roll. And you got the 2 successes that you needed. All right, so you start beep, boop, 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 beep, beep, beep. And you're playing Simon with it. And kids at home who are old enough to remember Simon. Anyway, the signal does not change, but TuPari, the scan that you're getting, the energy spikes when the commander does that, and all of a sudden things start lighting up in this tower of this structure here. It's like a series of lights just begins crawling up. I will ask you, however, go ahead and make Lieutenant Commander Zav, go ahead and make a reason and science roll. Also using a focus for your exolinguistics.
Still two dice on the task roll.
Yeah, it's still 2 dice on the task roll, unless you'd like to spend one of those momentum.
Yeah, so momentum, you can spend 1 momentum to get an extra die.
Yeah. Do that so we can start using them.
Okay. All right. So how do I add the momentum die?
Just add another. So you just say, I'm spending a momentum, and then on the task roll, click the number 3 for the 3rd die.
Okay, got it. All right. That's easy enough.
And also be aware if you have any talents that might come into play.
Yeah. And your talents are advisor, tough, incisive scrutiny. You have the knack for finding weak spots in arguments and theories. So you're not having an argument with this thing yet. So yeah, no talents that are specific to this. You got, but you managed to get the 2 successes, which you probably would not have gotten, and you got it on 1 die. So good job. You figure out that it is, in fact, while the signal has not changed, you start pushing these things, and you're getting different readings now. And it seems to be the pattern of the language when you compare it to everything else that you know seems to be providing a directive or instructions. It doesn't, you can't grasp any more than that, but it is sending instructions out into the galaxy and throughout the buildings around here. And then on top of that, that it is now the language has changed a little bit, and you're not exactly sure why yet. But as a result, we did also get that data spike. So I'm gonna come back up to the doctor. Doctor, anything you'd like to do?
I'm just kind of looking around more in general. We've got the scientists and engineers here who are they're the experts at this. I'm here to back them up in case things go awry.
Okay.
But I'm just sort of looking around from a life form standpoint.
Gotcha. So go ahead and make me a an insight and science roll, since you're just eyeballing and not specifically necessarily.
Any sort of focuses be appropriate.
Yeah.
Xenopsychology
Let's see.
or physiology would be the most appropriate ones, I think.
Yeah. So let's go with xenopsychology,
Okay.
because I'll accept that argument, because you're looking around with what you expect a civilization to have.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm not going to spend momentum. I'm just seeing what I can see.
Well, and Knights of G just cheered us for 100. Yay. So everybody's the team's gonna get a momentum for that.
Thank you.
And thanks to Stevie the cat.
Always thank Stevie the cat.
So that looks like a threat for you.
It is, in fact, a threat for me.
Because I rolled a 20, but I rolled 2 successes.
Yeah. So I get a threat, and you got your 2 successes.
This is the game system where a natural 20 is bad.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go ahead and something is happening. All right. So what happens when you start looking around? What's actually going on around here? What would these people have done from a psychological point of view? And you guys see, and you see this over in the area where TuPari has detected the energy spike. You're not sure what it is, but it looks like a relief of some sort of creature's face in a
like the relief of a humanoid creature's face.
Yes, exactly. Made of, and it's the gold and the blue that I said sometimes stand out on these white buildings. And it is, as the buildings were unsettlingly organic, this is unsettlingly technological. The way it looks somewhere between a machine and something organic. All right.
So I'll move over to Lieutenant TuPari and gesture toward the computer interface and say, "What do you make of that?"
And she will take a look. Do I need to make a
You don't need to make any rolls until you want to try and do something. So if you want to like just go over and examine it, ask me questions about it, I'll tell you whether or not you need to make, because some of the stuff's just gonna be obvious.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go over and take a closer look.
Okay. So the interface, if you were to scale this object to the life forms and say, okay, its shape is roughly the size of what you would expect a native to be in height, you're looking at something probably close to 7 feet tall. The interface, when you approach it, you notice that it is actually, the face is actually moving a little bit in the same way that a person's face might move. You know, there are small ticks, and you can see musculature move underneath of the relief, as though this thing is in some way alive.
But she'll turn back to the doctor and say, "Doctor, I believe that this is also your area of expertise. This may be a living being, and that is not something that I
Okay. I
deal with."
will. I'll take a few steps toward it,
Okay.
and I'm going to pull out my medical tricorder and scan it.
When you do, it's the eyes move slightly down to look in the direction of the tri.
Okay, so I'll sort of raise the tricorder so that face and tricorder and its face is sort of along the same line, and I'm sort of I want to scan it to see if it has if it actually is a living creature. Yeah.
All right. So this is also going to fall under your all your xenobiology
Okay.
and so yeah, you've got
Supposed to be a reason in medicine.
yeah, just be a reason in medicine.
Okay. Oh, one success.
Oh, one success. Now, so the reading you get back is inconclusive. It is definitely got organic material, like we said with the building. It is, and it is also inorganic at the same time. It is both of those things. So you're getting an inconclusive reading. It doesn't really any answers. Commander Bern, you don't have your tricorder out because it's first day on the new job as commander of a away mission. However, you do notice that you hear from every other crew member who actually has their tricorder out kind of a raise in pitch, that the signals that they're picking up and stuff, like to a higher register, while the doctor and the lieutenant are off looking at this possibly horrifying bas relief of a being. What would you like to do?
I'd like to bring this to Commander Zav's attention. Zav, do you hear this change in pitch?
So you didn't, because you were, and then the moment the commander calls it out, you're like, yeah, you can hear it. And it's weird.
Not sure that I wanted to hear it.
Is this something that you might have done from touching the thing?
I think it has to do with the computer interface.
The computer
We should,
interface.
we should blame the doctor.
I think it's sending out a signal. I mean, it feels like, I think I've read about this before. I'm pretty sure I've read about this in a book.
Should we shut down our tricorders? Is it possible that it's seeing our tricorder readings as a threat?
But we need that information. We need to figure out a way to communicate with this thing.
You're continuing to push the buttons. So yeah.
I will go ahead and power down my tricorder just in case.
Commander Bern just like throws down her cigarette and stubs it out and says, "Guess I gotta work." Are you? So aside from asking Zab, are you for something? Are you checking your tricorder? What are you doing here?
I am trying to determine if the organic and inorganic chemistries of the buildings and everything that we've seen are like original, like they were together like from beginning to now, or if like the organic material overtook the inorganic,
That's really
or
good.
the other way around. If it's like live tech that may have taken over this organic planet.
Yeah, so that is an excellent line of reasoning. I like where you're heading. Alrighty, so it all, since you're looking for that, the most logical place to go look is at the root of this structure, right at the very center of it, where it would have grown back out. And you have an expertise in xenoengineering, which is, alien structures, xenoarchaeology, ancient technology, all of that. So despite it being your first day on the job, you're actually very qualified to be asking these. So
Thanks. It's my focus.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll me a science and reason with focus. And you're rolling 2 dice unless you would like to spend one of the 2 momentum.
It's probably worth spending.
Yeah, it's never not worth spending. If you have momentum, use it.
Good, because if you roll particularly well and you get extra successes, you can just rebank the momentum.
Yeah, you'll if you don't.
So the momentum is just a 3rd die, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you spend 1 momentum for a 3rd die. If we had enough, you could spend another 2 momentum for a 4th die, and another 3 after that for a 5th die.
Correct.
Well, I have the talent of studious, so whenever you spend 1 or more momentum to obtain information, you may ask 1 additional question.
That's kind of what you're doing, I think.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. So what you're doing is, so go ahead and make.
So you pretty much never don't want to spend momentum.
Yeah, you always want to spend momentum, because instead of just getting the one answer, you can ask qualifying questions, and I have to give them to you.
I'm like clicking on the things, but it's not giving me.
Hit where it says task roll, the Starfleet boomerang right there.
Yes.
In
Hit the
pink.
boomerang.
Yep. Click on it. All right. Oh, mercy. So look at that. All righty. So not only did you get the successes you needed, you gave back 2 momentum to the team.
Feels good. Feels like a day for the players.
Second.
I'm sure that your success had nothing to do with me doubting you in chat.
It's my first day on the job, man.
All right. So your question was this standard building materials that were by organic stuff, or was organic stuff taken over by inorganic stuff, or has it always been like this? this, right? That's basically where you're trying to land. So when
Yes.
you get over to the base of the structure that is obviously like a computer center, that is or a data center, you start looking at everything and you're examining it like on a from a xenoengineering viewpoint, right? How was this engineered? And you realize that it has to have been both organic and inorganic at the same time, because the way the structure was built is it was grown in this shape, and that is the organic nature of it. But it was also grown at the supporting structures underneath the skeleton, if you will, is really, really, really small particles bound together that are inorganic. You don't have an expertise in like nanotechnology and stuff, but you have a crew member who does. So you can ask me another question.
Can I hold the question for later? No, I have to ask now.
You have to ask now.
Lifeline from chat. What would you like to know?
Since you also have somebody with an expertise in nanotechnology near you, you can hand off your question to Jen.
Ooh, that's really cool. That's a cool mechanic. I would like to hand it off to Jen.
So Jen, what question would you like to ask?
So we know that it looks like it's been organic and inorganic sort of intertwined. So have we all noticed the increase in pitch from the tricorders at this point?
Yes,
Okay.
we've all noticed the increase from the tricorders. Keep going.
Okay, so my thought was to see if there was a way to find if there was a correlation between our technology and this technology that is causing interference, or if it's somehow threatening or damaging.
Okay, that's a really good question, and I like where you. So, the commander, the chief science officer invites you over, and Commander Bern is like, "Take a look at this. This looks like nanotechnology," and you're looking at it, and it is, but it's nanotechnology designed to like build the skeleton of something, and the organic components seem to be tied to it. But while you're looking at it, you realize that there is a high level of energy going through it that's causing feedback into your tricorders. That when your tricorders are, that pitch that's going up correlates with the energy that is spiking through every root and branch of every structure here.
So I will share that and say our tricorders are acting as some sort of divining rod, to use an old Earth term.
So, Lieutenant Commander Zav, you are beep, 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 booping, and you hear that, and it kind of gives you an idea about what you've been doing here, because it all started when you started hitting those buttons. Is that you have an energy spike going on, the type of instructions coming out from this device, and all these things are, and the feedback that are all happening at the same time, right? So, and I'm just going to hand this one to you because this is sort of what you're gathering from the information. Logical is that the energy spike went up as the signal changed. Where is the energy going?
I'm going to stop pushing buttons, go over to where the interface is, and start examining it to see if there's any kind of power connection that that might be building, or battery that might be building up in the interface here from the power spike.
That's a good idea. Roll me reason and engineering. Without focus, because you don't have a focus in the specifics of this.
Does it look like the signal is trying to interface with the tricorder I'm holding?
Yes.
And because I am not sure I can do this without a tricorder, because those appear to be dangerous, I'm going to go ahead and use a momentum on this to have to roll 3 dice.
Excellent idea. Now we're getting somewhere. You only got one. You only got one success on that. So, yeah, you're not clear as to what the energy signature is doing, but or where it's going. But you could probably spend some time and just go and if you used your tricorder, you probably get the answer. But as you pointed out, you got some concern around that, which is very logical. I am now going to spend a threat, and as you guys, as you're over there, thing, you and Bern, who are over in the section, see one of the pillars withdraw in. That it looked like it was a support structure, and it's near the computer interface, and it begins like a beam of energy begins to pass through that empty space, and the signal that you've been picking up changes again. It's still a command, but now it is specific. It is it is structured like a set, almost like you would think a set of instructions. And what I want you to do, because this is where you shine, is roll me a insight and engineering with focus in exolinguistics. See if you can figure out what this machine is, what this machine code is trying to tell it, because now the tricorders sounds are getting a little higher. Everybody notices that their tricorders are getting a little warm.
I'm going to holler out to everyone to shut off their tricorders, except for Lieutenant TuPari, and then I think I want to go ahead and use.
I'll close mine up.
Do we have any momentum left?
Got 2.
Okay, I'll use one of those momentum.
All right. Hit it.
And I hope that not using determination is not a mistake. Okay.
All right. You got 3 successes. You needed 2, so you get that momentum back. And the what you are determining is that there are 2 large data banks somewhere in here that are sending a message to this thing. And one of the databases appears to be holding a great deal of information, and the other one slightly less. You'd have to go and look at the databases, but the message that it's creating, that it's sending, is a poem. It's instructions, but it's also, there's a meter and a rhyme to it. And it seems to be about something being created or born. And that's where we're going to cliffhanger it for our first 10-minute break. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for playing, and I'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for watching. You guys are shout out to my there he goes. Woo! Shout out to my friend Mr. Fowler there, who is a semi-frequent player at my table, and also a lover of Star Trek. So, and also Lauren, thank you for always being a huge supporter.
What's the giveaway?
Oh, yeah, a reminder on the giveaway, because I already did the giveaway. I already mentioned it one time, but thanks. So don't forget that we have a giveaway. Shadowrun Makeda Red and Shadowrun Kiss to Die For, which are both by Jennifer Brozak. And if you want to enter, type hashtag RemPC into the channel for 1 entry. If you give 100 channel points, or rather 100 bits, rather, you get 1 entry. And if you subscribe to the channel, and I highly recommend you subscribe because we've got a lot of cool stuff on Rem, you get 7 entries. You must be present to win at the end of the stream, the game session, to win. I just said it twice. And Robert said that Jennifer Brozak's writing is amazing, and I agree you with this true statement. All right. So when we took our break, we've determined that the energy spike is energy going to or coming from 2 massive databases in the area, and after you make that determination, tricorders that are still on go up another pitch, octave, whatever. Jen's music person, I don't know anything about music. Goes up a little higher, and they begin to heat up a little bit more. Not enough to do severe damage yet, but they're heading in that direction. So we will start with our Commander Bern, who is in charge of this, and definitely not her first day on the job or anything. What would you like our crew to do?
TuPari, is it possible that the frequency of our tricorders is interfering, and so can we adjust the frequency of our tricorders to match them at their natural state?
It is certainly something that I can attempt.
All right.
Let's see if that helps with not sending out like a what is it, Latani, when a foreign thing affects the body and then your body tries to attack it to kill it? So maybe in that sense. Yes. Yes. When you're sick and then your body
antibodies.
tries to attack the sickness. Yeah. So maybe in that sense, like if technology and the organics of it all, like I think we should assume that everything is a living being on this planet in some sense. So let's try to match their ecosystem to not send out a fight response.
I am rewarding the team with that team with 1 momentum.
I studied really hard at the Starfleet Academy.
I did good at Starfleet. All right, so TuPari, go ahead and so what you're looking here for is you're trying to determine how to match the tricorder's signal in such a way as to have them not react negatively to whatever this signal is. That what I'm hearing?
Yes.
All righty. So let's.
So I assume engineering would be in.
Yeah. So let's call it reason and engineering.
All right. Do I get to use a focus?
So yes, because this is xenotechnology, is one of your areas of focus.
Okay. And I'll go ahead and spend a momentum.
All right.
And I apologize. Explain again what that does.
Add another die, so you hit the 3 instead of the 2.
Oh no.
Bum bum bum. Yes, so you're like, yes, set it to this frequency. When you guys do, the signal, the sound goes on another higher pitch, and the thing gets a little warmer.
I've since shut mine off.
And you shut yours off.
When the commanders have suggested we turn them off, I turned mine off.
Okay. And Zav had turned off his, so that's when you hear one of the security personnel sort of Higgins lets out a yelp, and you see them over there knocking their tricorder off their belt onto the ground, and it is bright red. And hold on, let me. Lieutenant Commander Zav, the 2 databanks that you detected when you were investigating seem to be receiving more data, or rather, moving more data, should I say?
Is there any way in examining this interface that to interact with the databases directly, or they just seem to be coalescing or sending signal to the interface?
It seems to be sending or receiving data from the databank. This interface does. The computer interface, it looks like a person might be a good angle, and maybe finding out where these databases are physically located, which is pretty easy to figure. Would be pretty easy to figure out from what you're already looking at. Those are sort of your options.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try and find where the databases are located at.
Okay, so they are actually right next to Dr. Latani, who was up there scanning things around, and where Latani was investigating when he turned off his tricorder. And unless you guys
which is pretty close to the computer interface,
right, which is near the computer interface. So, do you guys want to go there collectively? Do you want investigate? What do you?
I'm afraid to bunch up too much in case something explodes.
So how did the computer interface respond when I turned off my tricorder?
It did not significantly. It stopped.
It stopped what?
It stopped looking at it.
Okay.
Its eye, but you were holding it up in front of it, straight at you, and then you turn. Eyes continue to look straight at you.
Okay.
But if you move, its eyes follow you.
It tracks me. Okay.
In an unsettling sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor, I have a question for you.
Yes. Yes.
Our bodies emit a frequency, correct?
We certainly emit electromagnetic radiation.
So if that's the case, then maybe we should lower the frequency of the tricorders to match our frequency. It would seem to be less threatening.
We can try that.
I don't know if that's possible. I'm just spitballing ideas.
So I'm gonna open my tricorder again.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to set it to mimic my life sign.
All right. So make me a. You know what? That's very much kind of a hunch sort of thing. So let's go with insight and engineering.
Ooh, engineering is not great, but that's okay. It doesn't matter if I have a focus because my engineering is 1.
Yep.
You
want to spend a momentum on that?
I want to spend a determination.
There you go. There you go. It's
because I am far too trusting.
Far too trusting. Outstanding. Take the check mark out of determination. And
there we go.
And you
Is
automatically.
there an assist thing for this?
What's that?
Are there like assists in this game?
Sure are.
Yeah, so you can make a similar roll with 1 die. And if I get any successes on my roll, then I can include your successes.
So do I just pick 1 attribute?
You're also going to be rolling insight and engineering.
Yeah.
But only with 1 die.
What happens if we fail that roll?
So if I fail that roll, then I don't get anything that Amber rolls.
And if Amber fails, she just doesn't give him a additional success.
Okay, let me go ahead and roll then.
So I'll roll my dice. So I get 2 hits, and then since I spent the determination, that's an extra 2 hits.
Yep.
Oh, well then you don't need me.
I get 4.
Hey, it's worth a try. Go on. See what happens.
It's worth the assist. It's more potentially more momentum.
No. So, all right. So, so
4 hits.
I'm going to give you guys. So the additional one. Do you want to put both of the 2 into momentum, or do you want to gain an advantage, find more information, something like that?
I think I'll want to ask one question after this, and it's mostly I'm looking for a way to communicate with this interface.
Okay, so you're just banking one momentum.
I'll bank 1 momentum and then use the other one to gain an answer to that.
Perfect. All righty. So you set it, and sure enough, when you set this thing to your to produce the same signature as you do biologically, the sound drops down to normal, and the temperature cools off almost immediately.
I want to try. So with my other momentum, I want to try to with that momentum that I'm spending to gain information to try to communicate. I'm trying to communicate by modulating that frequency slightly, like you would modulate a radio signal.
Okay. And what are you trying to achieve?
I'm. You know what? Because it's a thing that Latani would have heard of in school. I'm just going to start. I'm going to use it to sort of mimic a code and just tap out the first few prime numbers.
Okay.
As a means to communicate mathematically with this being.
Okay. I like it. In response, the data bank begins to give you a answering signal, and it is immediately recognizable by you, but no one else on the crew would recognize it. It's the beginning of a DNA sequence.
It is broadcasting a DNA sequence.
And you know where it is coming from. There are two data banks that have been mentioned. They're right there next to you. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what you guys can determine now, because there's no need for rolls because you're already digging into it. Is that there are two data banks sitting there. One of the data banks contains 25.6 exabytes of data. The second one contains about 1/20th of that. The data that is being stored in the larger database is all genetic sequences. If you were to compare them to most carbon-based life forms that you have encountered, the amount of data in here is roughly the population of a slightly overcrowded planet.
So this is a genetic library.
Correct. The other one is the one that has 20 of that size is pulling information from the big data bank that has all of the gene library, and is transmitting it out into the universe. Commander, sorry, go ahead.
Is that energies enough to mimic like a replicator or transporter?
Okay. Robert, I am giving you a determination. It is. I don't even need to be made to make a roll. I love it. So, the signal that is coming out essentially could be, if you successfully translated this language back home, by the time it got there, it would begin replicators and holosuites and transporters. Basically, any civilization with a replicator or transporter could be instructed to create these life forms using those devices. And that's when you hear the footsteps. Coming around the corner of this completely abandoned civilization, you see a bunch of creatures that look vaguely like this. They are techno-organic. They are gold and sort of a teal color. They look, you're not sure if they're meant to mimic a life form, or they are what the people of this planet used to look like. And they are gesturing wildly and speaking, and you've already figured this much out, in a meter that is similar to poetry. And all of them are wielding bioorganic weapons that are swords or spears, and some of them are wearing fibers that look like it's also like biomechanical clothing. And if you were to try and guess, it would remind you of ancient Earth, ancient Tellar, whatever your civilization is, clothing. So robes, tunics, breastplates. And they're marching towards you, and some of them are speaking in poetry and making very gestures.
So I'm going to go ahead and step forward, say apologies. We were only trying to figure out where the signal was coming from and what it meant.
All right.
And I know that they have no idea what that is, but I'm making sure to hold my hands up so that they see that I'm unarmed.
All right. So I'm going to ask you to make a insight, and actually, considering the circumstances, let's make it a control and command with negotiations as the focus, which you have.
I'm going to go ahead and use that determination that you gave me earlier.
All right. So, yeah. And
Am I able to assist him?
you absolutely can. Make me a control and command. Just a straight control and command roll. Rolling 2 dice. All right. You got 2 successes.
So that gives me 2 extra dice, or just adds to my successes if I get any.
It adds your successes if you get any.
Yeah, it's the latter.
So I should be rolling. How many dice should I be rolling?
Right, just 2, unless you're spending a. But you ought to give yourself a critical success with your determination.
Yeah, we'll be fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine.
Which, by the way, when you're spending that determination.
What's that?
To use that determination, your values. Which one is it?
Let's see. Some rules can be bent, others broken. Since this appears to be a non-warp technology society, I'm assuming that it's possible that I may be violating the Prime Directive by talking to them.
Yeah, I'll allow any violation of is good by me. So it's all right. So you got 4, 5. You got 5 successes. So when you do that, they all stop for a moment, and then one of them steps up on a small rise that just comes out of the ground to his, like it grows out of the ground, steps on the top of it and begins doing this and speaking. And now I'm going to ask you to make me a just roll, and we got 2 more than we needed, so we're going to go ahead and we'll put that in. We're going to put one of them in momentum and have you use 1 momentum for because this is your moment of insight here, is to make me a insight and science roll with
Focus for
focus for exolinguistics. Actually, with exoanthropology, but same thing. So you're still using a focus.
Oh no,
Ooh,
no, come on.
Natural 20.
I'll take that threat. However, you still succeeded. You got 2 successes. They're performing a play. These ones that are coming out of the smaller data are performing some sort of play, and that gives you a huge leap forward into beginning to translate it. And while you cannot fully make out the language, you're starting to get words into the lexicon immediately. And what this person is doing is they are talking about the great battle to have in the name of their the coming of the king Atraxius against their hated enemies in the foreign city. And when he says King Atraxius, this appears. It's an organic creature that looks similar to them, but it is mostly faceless and has a crown-like growths on its shoulders and the top of its head. And it walks forward and begins making huge, grand, sweeping gestures, and all of them bow. And then it stops. And I'm spending that threat you just gave me and another one. And it turns and points at all of you and says that word that meant foreign nation.
Starfleet.
All righty.
To be fair, we're not from around here.
Now, Jen,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go ahead and a science and reason roll, because you notice a spike when the king appears.
All right. Do I include my xenotechnology focus?
You absolutely do.
Okay.
Sorry.
Woo!
Nice.
I hope that's good.
Look at you, Jen. Yeah, you got the 2 that you needed, and we bank momentum, or you can more questions. I'll let you decide after I tell you what I'm going to tell you. So told you there were 2 data banks there. You're not sure where the replicators are, but that big data bank, the one that has enough for the population of a slightly overpopulated world, is trying to send its signal, and is being blocked by the smaller database that apparently is an entertainment module. And it is successfully reaching the replicators.
So the smaller database is successfully reaching the replicators, and the bigger one is not.
Yes, the one that would repopulate this planet with people, theoretically, is failing to do so. But the entertainment module outlining the war that may have ended their civilization is working just fine. Or not necessarily their civilization, but certainly here. These people were obviously more advanced than just walking around in togas. But and of course, the other problem is that this entertainment module is being broadcast to every replicator in the galaxy, and will create armies of these people, these warriors, if it is able to translate it.
Commander, I feel that this is an invasion tactic and not simply entertainment. I am unable to determine why the population center is blocked while the invasion module. How would you like to proceed?
Captain, are you there?
Interestingly enough, the answer is no.
So we're not
Well-
getting signals from the ship then.
No, you're not getting signals from the ship. What you're getting is, and it shows up when you're looking at your communicator, the interference began to spike about the time that the replicators came online.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Your first day on the job. Time to make bucks.
Well, we don't want to die. However, our directive was not. Okay. I don't want to die. Okay. Okay. Well, if there's a problem, I'm gonna solve it. That's my value. Can I roll to make a plan for our survival? I guess stopping this like Worth play thing is probably a good idea. So let's try and shut that off, I guess. If that's what they're like, these people are enacting a play. And the entertainment bank is like telling them what to do, right? So let's turn it off. Or program it for peace. What's a peaceful play?
That would require fully translating the language.
We don't have time for that. Okay.
But you literally got an expert in linguistics standing here. It's entirely possible.
Well, okay. Do you have enough time to do that, Sam?
The whole language, and they're very expressive, they're very poetic, but I don't have enough information at this point to really give you what you're looking for. It might be the equivalent to a tragedy, or an apocalyptic story where everything seems to be going great and then everybody dies at the end, which I don't think we want either.
No. Okay. We'll just turn it off. We'll just turn it off.
So this King Atraxius is a tyrant, we're understanding?
He's attacking another city to defend the civilization,
So
and he
tyrant-
believes that we are that other civilization.
So I guess we could.
Can we rewrite the story?
We could draw from our own history in which, in cases where the larger populace rose up to cast down a tyrant.
You are assuming they view this King Atraxius as a tyrant and not a liberator.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that we can stop the entertainment program until this one runs through, because I don't think they have a test screen.
So, Zav, because this is Star Trek and not, not reality. There's a lot leaps of logic that we're capable of making because we have, a TV show that we got to do. So that's the way. So go ahead and make me an insight in engineering, because we're the technology. Go ahead and use xenoanthropology, because you're looking at why are they doing this thing and what is this story program to achieve as far as entertainment. And we will see what kind of results Look at that. All right. So
Nice.
you got 2 successes, and you can either bank a momentum, or you can ask me an additional question. I'll tell you what I'm. So you begin to start. You've already built a pretty basic lexicon, and knowing what you know about Tellarite theater, human theater, Vulcan theater, like the basics of the founding Federation civilizations, is that they all have pretty similar theme, right? Because all 4 of the founding nations at the time, very people, before they became more civilized and eventually came together to form the Federation once they went into the stars. And that includes the Vulcans. They don't like to that barbaric past. So you begin putting those themes in there, looking for those, and you begin to extrapolate. If this is the first part of a play about King Atraxius attacking this city that you're in from a city elsewhere. And so this is the villain of the people. And
Okay.
and to put it in real world, this is bad guy Titus Andronicus. This is like a bad guy version of. I mean, Titus is not the greatest guy to begin with, but very I'd make you eat your kids in a sandwich kind of guy. Like that is a villain, and that he's basically that this thing is ramping up story of fighting the foreigners, and you are in the city consequently, and therefore are the foreigners. And about that time, one of the King Atraxius finishes his speech, which is something like, bring us glory or death, and points in y'all's directions, and that's when the fighting starts.
Oh, here we
Or
go.
the running, your choices. So, real quick, the way initiative works in this game is y'all first, unless it's a surprise attack. You decide who goes first on your side, then go on your. You guys don't have armor or resistance. Finding cover is a good idea. As you may have noticed if you've ever watched a Star Trek, that they hide behind rocks and shoot at people because they're wearing t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are wearing togas, so odds are they're also wearing t-shirts. They have melee weapons. You guys have phasers. Phaser type 2. Real quick is you make a security and daring roll to fire these things. You need 2 successes to hit somebody. If you get more than that, you can say I do then your damage results come up, and if they have little, then you can use them to boomerangs to do get additional. It's not particularly complicated. I just want to make sure that we knew what we're top to bottom. So you can run, you can try and negotiate, or you shoot phasers at people. All 3 of these things are very quick things to do. It just depends on what season of Next Generation you're in.
Commander?
Well, they're following a program, right? Like are we on the same page? Like they're being told to like enact this thing?
They're being told to attack us, yeah.
Okay, well, if they're being told to attack us and like we can't actually communicate with the thing that's like telling it to attack us, like then we should run. Starfleet, evasive maneuvers, quickly, go. Serpentine. And then I'm going to take up the rear. Because first through the door, which I guess would be last to run in this case.
Nope. That is a good call out, Amber. I like your interpretation of first out of the door. That's good stuff. All righty. So you guys have the initiative. Is anybody attacking? Fleeing.
I'm going to shoot the entertainment database as I'm running out the door.
Okay, you shoot the entertainment database. All right, interesting, and I like it, and it's a very Star Trek thing to do instead of attacking a humanoid. So go ahead and make me. You're only going to hit the database. You're only going to a 1 because you're trying to hit an inanimate instead of a person. So roll me a daring and a security, which is you're a linguist, so it's not your it's not a strong point, but here we go. You don't have any.
We've got a momentum left.
We got a bunch of momentum left.
Got much more momentum left, but I will also say this: you have hand phasers as a focus.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
You get to use focus when using a hand phaser.
I was just thinking for sure the security people have that.
They do. However, because they're orange, they're gold shirts, you hear them screaming.
Oh no.
Are they going down to this point?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's all on you guys. I'm not. A couple of ensigns going to save me on this one. They're like, ah! They do the off-screen ah, and it's foreshadowed by a squirt bottle being pointed at you in a scene somewhere earlier. That happened. Anyway.
I'd like to tell the viewers that we spun a color wheel and landed on blue, and that's why we are all blue people today. We picked our characters.
So yeah, the two NPCs go down screaming, and just to add to the oh crap, we're in trouble. So you've made your security and daring with focus, and you're spending a momentum. So let's woo, alrighty. So that's one more than you needed to hit them. Now, if you will scroll to the bottom under weapon, you will see a boomerang right next to the number. I think for you it's a 5. And just click on that, and it will roll the challenge dice for the attack. All righty, so
Woohoo!
that is a crap ton of damage. That is so every boomerang gives you one stress in the attack. Every 1 gives you 1. Every 2 gives you 2. The boomerangs also allow you to do effect. So if the effects you can do is piercing, area of effect, so you can hit more than one target by spreading it out. And the I'm trying to remember. I think there's another one.
Elter face.
Where's the phaser?
Is that one of the effects?
Oh yeah, like you can vaporize somebody, but I mean, you could tell me you're doing lethal. The only problem, I get a threat every time you do lethal.
Mm-hmm. We're Starfleet. We only do stun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they killed the red shirts, so is it really?
Are they really alive? Would be the other question, and the answer is yes.
That the whole planet's alive. The buildings are alive. This darn database is probably alive too. But okay, I'm just gonna see what happens when I area effect all the bad guys in the database.
All right. So you're dropping 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stress on a crowd of a sizable group of them, and the replicants. See, replicator's bad and then's also good. Just depends on what. Yeah, you. Let's see. Yeah, you drop 2. You drop 2 of them, and so well done. They're still coming, but you dropped a couple of them with your phaser shot, and now it is their turn. One closes with you, and They don't have focuses. However, I'm going to spend one of my threat. Oh no! All right, they got a complication. But they do hit you. Actually, this is melee, so roll me a fitness plus security. Opposed.
Now I am also sturdy,
You are.
so
You would also like to spend some momentum to not be hit,
Yep.
or not.
All righty. So you rolled your so you rolled your 2 successes. They got 2 successes, but they also got a complication. So you managed to block them. You don't do any damage back, basically, or injure you. You pass off.
did I block with my phaser and it went off and vaporized one of their weapons?
No, basically, you do the dun, 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 dun. And they like strike the ground. If otherwise, it would have been a block it with your arm and punch him in the face or whatever. Imagine James T. Kirk being super exciting and wearing like his workout clothes. Don't worry about it. It's the whole thing. All right. I know that and Bob's like, yes, I remember he's not wearing his shirt, but his pants come up above his stomach for poorly explained reasons. All righty. So that was their turn. It is now we're 4 minutes away, so I'm actually going to go ahead and have something happen, and then we will initiative with you guys after the break. So they're already starting to come at you. They are also destroying stuff around you. Like they're pillaging. They're coming to attack you, but the ones that are not coming are like actively pillaging things. And the King Atraxia points at the database that contains the biological signatures, the gene database of the people who actually lived here, and went, kill the queen. And we're going to break 3 minutes early because that's perfect. I just saw everybody's reaction. Well, I can't top that. So we're going to go ahead. We'll be back in 10 minutes, which will be 7 minutes after the hour. Was, ballpark. And thank you guys for watching, and all the people that are saying we need more Eason. I think you're objectively right. Everybody needs more Eason. So we'll see you in 10 minutes. Welcome back. We are in a cliffhanger moment. The evil Atraxian King Atraxius is just proclaimed that they should kill the queen of this foreign nation by attacking the database that contains all of the genetic code of everyone who lived on this planet. But before we get to that, just one reminder that we've got a giveaway going on. Shadowrun Makeda Red and Shadowrun A Kiss to Die For, both written by and donated by Jennifer Brozak. If you want to enter, type hashtag REMPC into the channel, or if you give 100 bits, that's another entry. And then if you subscribe, that is 7 entries. And right now, my good friend Mr. Fowler is I think leading the pack with let's see, 1, 2, 9. So if you want to deny him happiness, jump in there. Anyway, if you if you're giving channel gifts, if you give bronze, it'll give a momentum to the players, or threat to me. Just decide which one you want to do. Silver will give 3 momentum to the player, to the GM, And finally, if you give a player will receive a point of determination, which the lovely and talented Dr. Bob Loper, Dr. Meat Grinder, my personal hero, did this and donated it to his own team. So it feels like cheating, but sure, why not? So also, when this stream is over, there's a 30-minute break, and then at 1:30 Eastern time, there will be Raccoon Sky Pirates with Janity. I don't know what it is, but it sounds amazing.
It sounds
It's
awesome.
Raccoon, it's Sky, and it's Pirates. There's literally nothing wrong with any of it.
And it's Janity.
And it's Janity, which is, I buried the lead there.
I envision trench coats and the hat with the big feather.
Yeah.
Raccoons are in this trench coat.
That's right.
Yes.
You have to one more to wear the hat.
Yeah, no, yeah, that just makes sense. As we continue our streamathon and go to our, and maybe you too can be a player or a GM or whatever, or just hang out and talk to us because we're cool. All righty. So, having proclaimed war, the larger of the two databanks, King Atraxius is now in his ever-growing army. We were in mid-combat when Lieutenant Commander Zav pointed out that this software, this play that has been created using the replicators, and it's effectively in the same way you would with a whole, has declared a genocidal war, the databank, and the death of an entire civilization that exists in Potentia, since it's just code right now. But so it is y'all's turn, and you are being again swarmed by these weird, unsettling warriors. And who wants to go next to attack, or do you guys want to fall back to another position? What would you like to do?
I want option 3.
You want what?
I want a third option.
You want a third option? Okay,
yes.
What's our third option?
So I would like to spend an action. I want to try to interface with the computer interface.
Okay.
I'm gonna
this is the eye. So
yeah. So I since I was over there already.
Yep.
I want to take a few steps up to it, and I'm going to touch it.
Okay, you're going to touch it.
Yep.
All right.
Which will activate because I'm Hellion. I'm going to activate my contact empathy talent.
Okay. Alrighty. So, I love where your head's at. I did give you contact empathy for.
And I'm hoping this is the reason and not something else.
Nope. You have sussed out one of the possible uses. Definitely the one I had in mind.
I'm kind of banking on it being this being either empath or telepath, so I can communicate telepathically.
And so, what are you hoping to?
I want to try to convince it to activate the larger database to take over the data flow.
All right.
To try to cast down the tyrant.
I like where your brain's at. So this would be using persuasion. So it would be
that's my focus. Yep.
Right. It would be presence and command, because you're trying to get it to do a thing. I would also argue, because you are a big fan of living, is one of your values, that if you'd like to spend a determination on it, and you should have 2 determination. You haven't spent one.
I spent one early on.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Then you're fine. You have one.
So I will spend the one I have. And in addition, I want to spend a momentum. Can I spend both at one time, or?
Oh yes, you absolutely can.
Okay, so I want to spend 1 momentum for the extra die. So there'd be 3 dice, and then I still have the auto 2 successes from the determination.
Correct.
Okay, that should be set right. All right, so that is 3 successes plus my 2 from the determination is 5.
That is 5 successes. So you can bank some of that, or You can roll the dice and see what the game master would give you with 5.
I feel like I'm doing a Hail Mary to save this civilization, and so that's where I'm going with it.
Okay, so you're going to trust the game master.
Yep, I'm throwing all 5 successes at it.
It locks eyes with you, and through your empathic link, you get an image of the yellow sun, a world that is mostly white and green. Now, there's a lot of plant. I mean, the blue from the surface area is mostly white and green, and you see a evolution where it breaks and all of the mammalian life, or rather all of the animal life on the planet begins to bond with a possibly native organism that is silicate and begins to develop this parallel existence, or this parallel evolution to the trees. The plants continue to grow and then all of a sudden you have these bioorganic life forms. The other thing that you extrapolate immediately is that all of the life forms on this planet, the building materials that they're made of are left-handed DNA as compared to all of the carbon-based life forms in the Federation.
Like all of us are right-handed DNA.
Right-handed DNA. So, like, if you ate these people or anything on this planet, you would starve to death because it would just pass through your body. So everything biological on this planet is the exact opposite of the Alpha Quadrant, life as you understand it in the Alpha. The last thing you get is a complete understanding of what is going on here, like what the whole story is, because it's basically running you through. Still haven't determined. You don't understand. You understand what happened. You don't know the language. Because Zab's still trying to figure that part out, and maybe doesn't. You don't want to, because if.
So I'm getting it mostly in images and feelings.
Yeah, exactly, because it's on an empathic level.
Mm-hmm.
That helped me say it better. So their civilization ended because of when the sun finally went from yellow to orange. They are a very ancient civilization. They developed warp drive, went out into the galaxy, and then came back and decided, now we're good here because we can't eat most of the things out in the galaxy. We're the opposite of everything else. And also everyone else seems to be hardly aggressive, and gave that up a lot. We love our entertainment. So they basically sort of the society collapsed as their life spans grew shorter because of the radiation burst. And that radiation is no longer present, or you guys would be in trouble. You determine the planet to be safe. But that their solution was, let's just put all of our memories, all of our genetic material into this database, and then set it on automation that when when one of our caretakers wakes up, when one of our devices tells us it's safe, whatever, and something failed along the lines, and they were not brought back. But when you arrived, something happened that caused the database to kick off. It's like, oh, you're the caretaker. That it could not access the primary database and access the only other database it had that had biological material in its database. And that was the entertainment module. And it decided to do the most famous story in their history. You're not from Earth, but you know who Shakespeare is, that this was written by their Shakespeare. right? This is their great epic of their civilization, is how this bad guy attacks the people of this city, tries to kill the queen. The queen fights
from a time when they were warlike.
Right. If it fights the queen, leads her armies against them and is victorious in personal King Atraxius, and that's how peace was achieved. Right. So through violence, peace through violence, just like the Federation, kids. So that's what you get. You get that all and it's a very much a head rush, right? It's like, wow, all this data is in your noggin.
Yeah, all this stuff being downloaded into me.
Yep.
During a combat turn, it's I probably feel like I'm burning out a bit.
Yeah, it's a lot. You get it in a very quick burst, and it is almost all emotional. Fortunately, because your contact empath and the Alliance are used to getting heavy duty feelings all at once, so it doesn't do anything more than take up the entirety of your turn and sort of stagger you with how much information, how you react to that, whether it's, oh crap, I need to tell everybody right now, or oh crap, sit with this for a minute. Sorry, Star Trek, space crap, not just crap. So that is the action we're going to be on y'all's initiative. Commander Bern.
Yes.
You are a squad of these soldiers, these replicant soldiers, are charging towards you, and they begin to they hold out their arm like this, and a bow-like object grows out of it, and arrows grow between their fingers, and they begin shooting at you.
Goodbye, cruel world.
Alrighty. And I am going to spend a threat. Just like players shouldn't go without momentum, the game master should not ignore a threat. All right, that's 2. That is enough to hit you. And when the arrows fly out, there's a coruscating rainbow of energy that follows it when it strikes you. And 1, 2, 5.
I don't like the sound. I don't like the look of that God beam.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful death, at least. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's essentially the gift of traveling through the weapon is the part of the storyline that the enemy's arrows are imbued with his essence, and I like to call it the God beam, because why wouldn't I? Because it seems very extra, just like me. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 5. That's enough to take it all in one. So you take it, and you take 5. So mark off 5 stress, and you have an injury. If you have a second injury, you are dead. You have a medical officer nearby. Just saying. All right. So.
And now 3 injured patients.
I have the talent Resolute. So will that come into play later if I get hit again?
You have the talent what?
Resolute.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Well, let me look. Because I forgot.
So I just get 3 more stress above my hitboxes. Is that right?
Oh yeah. There's no way for me to add that in there.
No, that's okay.
So you have 3 more stress boxes than everybody else. I knew I made you tough. I just couldn't remember how.
Can I just go ahead and take 2 more stress? I'm stressed out by this whole game. All of a sudden, this is more stressful.
On the bright side, you don't do what you usually do and make No, just like I reject this.
No game master wrong.
Alrighty, somebody on your side is now needs to attack or perform an action during the combat round.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So
I'll do
Jen,
a
you're the only one who has. Would you like to fire your phaser? Would you like to try and help the commander? I don't know what your situation with medical is.
My medical situation is not great. I have a 2, so not super helpful over there. I have a thing called neural interface.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something for myself or?
Yep, it allows you to basically you can just like a mind link, like a Vulcan mind meld. You can basically you have a cybernetic device that allows you.
Oh, okay.
You can jack into a computer essentially.
Yeah, it was one of the 2 ways to get information over there. Bob was one, you were the other.
Cool. So I am actually going to I want to basically be between the doctor and anything that might be headed his direction,
Okay.
and it shoot a phaser at anything that might get close that looks like it wants to harm him.
All right. We got 3 momentum. You want to spend some. You also got determination, and I have a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking.
I care too much about, but maybe it could be used. But I would think I have a lot to prove and spending determination to get out of success.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was using a determination because I did so poorly on the roll about the frequencies that now I have to prove myself to this away team.
Okay. All right. And you don't have a focus, so take your focus there. You don't have a focus in hand phasers. But all right, so go ahead.
All right, so I roll.
Are you spending a momentum
Sure.
in addition to determination?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't. There's an old Deadlands saying, "Don't die with chip," and that's very much this as well. So.
All right, and so it was science and daring. Is that to fire the phaser?
Security and daring.
I knew it was an S word.
And
So I roll that first, and then
you're spending a momentum to make it 3 dice instead of 2.
Okay.
And you also get automatic 2 successes for spending the determination.
All right, so I roll the security and daring first, and then roll the phaser.
That's correct.
Okay.
Oh no!
No.
But you got
Oh,
2 successes, but you also got a complication.
wow. 18, 19, 20 on the dice.
Yeah, you got your 2 successes, so you hit.
Should have played D&D.
All right, so now slide down to your phaser and click the little boomerang. You also got. Okay, so you got an area effect if you want to use an area effect, and you got 2, 4, 5, 6 damage.
Yeah, I'll go for area effect to try and keep this area clear of bad guys.
Yep. So you guys, you stun out another group of them. All right. If any of you attack King Atraxia himself, you let me know. All righty. Goes back to them. And following King Atraxius's orders, they begin straight by you. except for the archers who are staying behind, and who are following the end of it, firing arrows at all of you. And they've already taken out your commander, so now they're going to try and take out the science officer. Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, they didn't take me out. I'm hurt. I'm still around, right?
Yeah, you're fine. You're injured, and they miss. So they fire on TuPari, and the embeds itself in a pillar, and there's a huge explosion, and the camera rocks. All right, back to you guys.
Okay. I think it's my turn now, right?
Zav started off, then we went to yes.
Yeah, I was second, I think.
Yeah, go ahead, Amber. You're the last one, and then we start the initiative round.
Okay, well, I'm going to use a determination, and I'm going to use there are always possibilities.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot Atraxius.
All righty.
Range.
Lethal.
Yeah, the range on a phaser is what you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And never die with chips in your hand, so spend a momentum too.
Yeah.
So yes, I will also spend a momentum. So that puts me at 5 die, right? Or is that
It puts you at 3 dice, plus the determination gives you 2 auto hits.
Yeah.
okay? So I don't.
Yeah, you don't have to roll those.
So whatever you roll on 3 dice, you get 2 more hits on top of that.
So let's see. I guess it's daring and security, or can I reason control as a possibility? As in, I'm trying to take control. No. Okay. I'm trying to
Unfortunately, it's daring and security.
correct.
Security is when you attack. It makes no sense, but they need to do something.
Okay. Cool.
All right, Amber. Everybody's counting on you. Oh, look at that! 4 successes. Because you got your 2 automatic ones. Would you like to bank the 2? Or do you want to give an advantage? Do you want to do something else?
What would be something else with those?
Introduce a fact. Say that you while you were doing this, that you limped out, that you limped out of range of them because you're injured. That managed to move over closer to the doctor. That you grabbed TuPari, you grabbed Zav, or you already said you're interposing yourself between them and the doctor. That you you distract. I mean, you attacked Atraxius already, so you've already got his.
I'm going to say that I find cover behind a structure.
There you go. All right, so you take structure behind it, and we'll go ahead and back another momentum on top. And go ahead and roll your phaser down there.
This is a bad roll, right?
So that's 5 and 4 effects.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So you can area of effect, you can pierce, you can increase the area of effect to get a very large if you want, with as many as you got.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Right. Or you can try and pierce on like concentrate fire on Atraxius and see if
that's what I want. I want to just take out their leader.
There you go. All righty. So you fire,
kill her,
and you concentrate the beam on. Concentrate it, and you do that thing that they do in Star Trek sometimes, where they don't just fire the phaser. You hold down on the trigger and start walking towards him. with it and just like bombarding him with it. And you see that he is biological material. You got it on stun, but he something about the way he's constructed protecting him against it, possibly the fact that his molecules are not the same as yours, left-handed versus right-handed, but you do injure him, and his attention turns towards you, and he hefts up his spear like this, and it begins.
Not gonna let the crew down, so I'm just gonna dive for it.
There you go. All right. So we go back to their side. Most of the troops have moved on. You Atraxis's attention, but he already used all of his actions to get up there to where he is, so he can't attack you on this round. The archers are in the back, covering the rear, and they are going to, let's see, Lieutenant Commander Zab, I don't think you've suffered any horrifying attacks. Let's see, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're going to go after TuPari again because they didn't have any success with that. So, oh no, they miss again. All right, so they fire the Godbeam arrows, flies by you, hits another emplacement and melts it, and a horrifying electric. So they're heading up there to those. They basically disengaged from, except for Atraxis, and Atraxis looks like he's about to attack Bern, and then you see him start to glitch for a second, and then he starts doing his speech again and points and says, "Kill their queen," and they begin heading back up there. They're just ignoring you. So you're out of rounds. What do you guys want to do?
I want to go ahead and would it be possible to stun all of them that are heading towards the database?
All of them? No, but you could probably take out a big chunk of them if you want to shoot them as they're moving. You need you'll need we'll call it 2 effect, and you can probably take out if you get if you get 4, you can take out like half. No guts, no glory.
Yeah, we're going to have to deal with them at some point anyway, so I will go ahead and do that. And then I will mention that if we could take out Atraxis, that would be great too. I will use momentum.
Okay. If you would like a determination,
everyone deserves a second chance, including civilizations that have already failed.
I think that's actually spot on. Yeah, good. If you want to use that.
And I do have a hand phaser focus.
You sure do. You're the only one.
Send in the bard. Have him do combat.
Oh no! Well, you got 2. You did get 2 successes.
Oh gosh!
On your purchased successes. Yeah. So go ahead and roll your phaser roll.
Reset roll 20.
All right. So you didn't get a third of them. You did get a good chunk of them, enough to knock out like maybe a fifth of them.
Okay.
So you've managed to reduce the number. And so let's jump to. They're just continuing to march towards the databank, ignoring everything else. Who wants to go next? Bob, you have an injured person near you.
Yeah. So am I disengaged from the computer interface now?
You can be.
Okay. So I'm going to head over and treat the commander.
Yeah, minor action to move over there, and then make a medical roll.
Yep. So it's first. So we're during combat, or is this an out of combat medical?
It's out of combat. They disengaged from you.
Okay.
They're marching up to complete
So
their
it'll be
task.
control and medicine. Because it's a first aid roll, and I have first response, I get an extra D20 from that.
Right.
Oof. This is terrible.
All right. Did you spend determination? I didn't hear you.
I did not. I don't have
Did you?
determination left.
All right. Okay. Give me a throw. This may end different than I thought. Goodbye, Federation. It was good knowing you. It's fun while it lasted. All right. Yeah. So you are not able to provide medical to the commander. Commander,
Yeah,
what do you do?
Tell him to get off me. Do we know like that the DNA is reversed, or is it just him?
You provided that data.
yeah, I'll have said that.
Okay, then is there a setting like on the phasers to like reverse? I don't know.
Amber, to have a determination.
Thank you. And I flip the switch and I use my determination, and we're just gonna go shoot again.
You basically recalibrate it in the same way you would if you're fighting a Borg or something like that.
Remodulate the
Modulate.
basic frequency.
Yeah, you basically just have to reverse the. You know, it does more damage to. You have sussed out what their resistance is.
And
they were not the same as you.
is there a momentum left to spend?
There is one.
There is one.
I'm gonna use it, guys. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By all means.
Also, you're the leader, so that seems appropriate.
Woo! Look at all that. All right.
3 hits, and then you spent determination on that, right?
Yes. So that's 5 hits.
So you got 5 hits. Would you like to put some momentum back in the pool, or would you like to take out King Attraction?
Just strike this guy down.
I would just like to strike him down.
All right.
And
So
take
go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll your damage. Yeah, that's good enough. All right. So you fire, and King Atraxius, despite the fact that you're on stun, just sort of vanishes. And the troops start to fade one at a time. But back where the battle started, you hear the soliloquy begin again from the first person who appears. And now, Zav, you're beginning to suss out exactly what he's saying. And here I am, the herald of King Atraxius, noblest of kings. And, you're on mute, buddy. Sorry.
I zap the entertainment database on lethal with my phaser.
All right. So go ahead and make me a. Actually, you don't need an attack. Just hit an arrow. But do to see it. Go ahead and do it. You don't need anything. A single success.
Is it daring or fitness?
It is daring.
Daring for ranged weapon.
Yeah, for ranged weapon.
don't have any momentum. I do have focus. Yes.
Yes.
Now we'll go ahead and roll your damage. The only problem oh, look at that. All right. Yeah. All right. So you start cooking this thing, and are you attacking the database or the interface? That it to how the signal gets out.
How the signal gets out. Yes.
Perfect. All right. Have a determination. For everyone deserves a chance. Because the thing is that you had a choice of destroying their greatest work of art, or just preventing,
Or shutting it down.
And you made the right. Good job. So you fire the phaser. The thing, the connection breaks, and when it does, the computer interface right next to you begins speaking to you like it couldn't before, and you're not picking up much, but what Zav has put in the translator is reroute, and then it goes quickly reroute.
TuPari, you need to hook up the big database to the
Yeah, there was something broken
replicator.
about the big database.
Yep.
Which is why they did.
Okay. So the reason it's saying quickly reroute, because it is to send energy to that other one, but it can't transmit anymore. So now that database with their greatest work of art and the database that they're in are now beginning to overheat.
So I have a focus in either computers or xenotechnology. I don't know if it matters.
Either one will be
okay. And this would be reason and engineering.
It would be reason and engineering.
Okay.
And use the determination.
Yeah, I'll use that determination.
Do not die with chips in your hand.
Yeah.
So that gives you automatic 2 successes. Go ahead and make your roll.
And is the focus what gives me the extra die? Or oh no, I have to use the yes. Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. So you got 4 successes. You want to use all of them and see what happens, or
Yeah.
all right. So TuPari, you go over and you mess him, and it's heating up over there. It's hotter than Vulcan, right? It's hot. It's like just sweat is pouring off of you, which is the thing. Very high temperatures because of your homeworld, and you feel under the gun, right? It's beating at the walls of your logic. There's not much time left, and you, thanks to the translations that you're getting, translations of this stuff is hooked up, and you manage to find the switch. You reach out, you make the change, and both of them go black. All the lights go out. And then a cool blue light begins to fill the primary database. And then you hear a voice, and another one, and another. And behind you in the plaza, men, women, children, animals begin to appear in the city. And a figure that looks remarkably like King Atraxius, but in a less menacing sort of way, and has a different sort of crown coming from it, walks out to all of you, and it looks at Zab and goes, "You are teaching me language, yes?"
Yes, absolutely. I just have one question. Where's your warp capable ship at? Because I need to make sure that we have that before we have this conversation.
Yes. Long decayed.
I turn to him and I say, they're warp capable.
Oh, good. We can have this conversation then. I'm not breaking the rules yet.
I have question how many times?
Probably a few centuries.
Yeah, you're
So I
probably-
ask,
Yeah. I was going. Go ahead.
So Commander Bern, how long would it have been since the star, and I point out, was last yellow?
You don't need to make a roll, Amber. 32,000
32,000
local years.
local years.
He's like couple of centuries, and he's wait a minute. Just so, do you tell her 32,000?
Yeah. I mean, I tell.
All right. She goes, very long. And she spends some time explaining that that she and her people had gone out into the galaxy, been to the Alpha Quadrant, and 32,000 years ago, none of y'all were worth visiting, right? So they had rules against talking to people who didn't have spaceships too. They had their own prime directives. And that when the radiation went nova, that this was back up their memories, back up their bodies, and that you have saved their civilization. Unfortunately, basically, Queen Tytranta tells you that the Pytharians, which is who these people are not, their biology is not compatible in the Alpha Quadrant, and that by their standards, you are too socially primitive for them to interfere. That someday, they're not prepared to engage with a galaxy full of dangerously primitive culture. People that still fight wars.
Are you prime directing me?
Yes. But when they feel that the United Federation of Planets is advanced enough socially, perhaps in a few thousand years, that they are happy to reach out. However, as a gift to your people, they would like to give you this. And they go, who is the queen? Here. Which of you is queen?
Yep.
Bern.
That.
Point
Yeah.
to Bern.
Yeah, so they go over to Bern, and they hand you this thing, and it's this should be easy to decipher. It is primitive, and it is to make creator machines better, to make travel machines longer distance. So basically, what she's given you is a gift for saving them to give to the Federation, a way that will improve replicator technology, will improve holosuite technology, and will improve transporter technology. Not like massively, but it's a stepping stone to where you want to get to.
It's better than what we got.
It'll bridge you a gap to
Amazing. Queen to queen, thank you so much.
she thanks you. They ask you if you'd like to see a play. Their greatest work of art. Wah, wah. We play the Star Trek wah, wah music.
About that.
I think we've seen it. We may want to go.
I'm looking for the ensigns at this point, trying to stabilize if possible.
Yeah, you save them. They're not dead. They're just they're Star Trek dead. Like they're like, oh, I got you. Yeah, you recover everybody. And you all have saved the Pytherians. It was a close thing there for a minute, and we fade to credits. Thank you so much. That was super fun.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eason.
Yeah, that was super great. And Vort, that we got 7 minutes left on the clock, so I'll just we got a few more minutes to hand out the award, unless we want to go ahead and do that now. It's up to you. He is randomizing as you speak. Let's find out who won the prize. Yay! What does Ben need to do to get said giveaway prizes? Yep, he's still here.
Yeah.
So they can't hear Vort.
Oh,
So looks like Ben Fowler won. And if you could just contact Vort through the Twitch Whisper, or send us a or Mr. Vimes.
just send it. To me. Send it to me. I'll get it. I'll get it to Ben.
There we go. Friends of friends of friends with friends.
Yeah, this is the first time he's watched one of our streams. So
Welcome.
super cool. And now as a subscriber. All right. That was great. It was super fun. I really enjoyed doing it with you guys. I look forward to maybe doing it again, since like Ram and
Yes.
everybody else said that I have to run a game again.
Bob said yes.
Bob said yes. It's done now. The decision has been made. A doctor has told me. All right. Those of you who are still in the stream and people that are watching, stick around for 1:30 as Janity runs Rack Sky. Exciting as you can possibly imagine. That's amazing. Also, there'll be another giveaway. Don't forget that we're the stream 3rd anniversary. We're going to keep doing this till when are we done, Vort?
It'll be after like clockwork.
After like clockwork.
Yeah, it dovetails right into like clockwork.
Yeah, that's right. All righty, cool. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it, and live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.